Lifters trained every day, chasing faster gains, and what they discovered might explain why their progress completely stalled. Now, in the days of everyone training 7 days a week, here is a question that is causing massive confusion in the fitness world right now. Can you really build more muscle by training every day? Or is that the fastest way to kill your gains and wreck your body? So when I discovered what actually happens inside your body when you skip rest days, it completely changed how I train, man. So today, I'm breaking down the science behind daily training versus rest-based growth, exposing the dangerous downsides that few people actually talk about, starting with the shocking science of muscle growth. And let me break this down in 3 simple points. Point number 1, muscles don't grow in the gym, they grow during rest. When you lift weight, muscle fibers experience micro tears. Rest days allows these fibers to repair and grow stronger, leading to muscle hypertrophy and strength gains, assuming a proper nutrition, of course. So think about it like this. When you work out, you are literally damaging your muscles, but that damage is actually good. But if you give it a proper rest and recovery in order to rebuild and grow. So it's like tearing down a building in order to build a bigger one. So you need time for construction, not only demolition, right? So without adequate rest, these muscles cannot fully recover, potentially leading to stagnation or even regression in strength. Point number 2, the 48 to 72 hour recovery window. Now, if you've got a training plan that has you training back-to-back days, just make sure you are alternating the muscle groups being worked each day so that you have at least 48 to 72 hours of rest for each muscle group between training sessions. This means you can train frequently, yeah, but you need to be more strategic about that. So when you hit chest on Monday, just make sure that you don't hit chest again until Wednesday or Thursday. And that's it. But here is the plot twist, point number 3, that shocked me the most, bro. The consecutive training study. A fascinating study in the journal Frontiers in Physiology by Yang et al. Examined 3 consecutive versus non-consecutive days of resistance training for 12 weeks. Now, despite not adhering to the recommended 48 to 72 hours of recovery between resistance training sessions, the consecutive group induced similar improvements in strength and body composition when compared to the non-consecutive group. Wait, what? So consecutive training can work, right? Here is the catch, bro. This was for 3 days per week only, with proper nutrition and structured programming. So these 3 days are absolutely not the same as hitting the gym 7 days a week and training very hard with no strategic planning. It is absolutely not the same. Alright, now this section might scare you a little bit, but it needs to, because the consequences of overtraining are way worse than most people realize. Starting with point number 1, what overtraining actually does to your body. Here is the scary part, bro. Overtraining syndrome can lead to systemic inflammation, which is a whole body inflammatory response, which can then affect your central nervous system, mainly your brain, including depressed mood and tired body. Overtraining can also result in imbalances in hormones such as cortisol, testosterone, and growth hormone. These imbalances obviously can adversely affect metabolism and muscle growth. So in other words, training so much with no rest can actually lower your testosterone and raises your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, and makes it so much harder to build muscle. So you are essentially work much harder and seeing fewer and worse results. Which brings me to point number 2, the performance decline nobody expects. Overtraining obviously has symptoms, including fatigue, depression, insomnia, waking up not feeling refreshed, irritability, and sore and stiff muscles. But here's the really crazy part, bro. Many athletes actually think that poor performance or weakness in the gym is actually signaling that they need to push even harder. And guess what they do? They push harder. And that does only one thing, bro. That breaks your body down further and further, whether you believe it or not. In reality, the only one thing they actually need is rest. A rest period to reset their physical performance. And that brings me to point number 3, the recovery timeline. Now, full recovery from overtraining syndrome can actually require weeks or even months off from working out, okay? Something very challenging for someone whose life is revolving around the training. Now you could avoid all of this by just taking 2 rest days per week, man, and that's it. And the math does not add up for training every day, by the way. Now let's talk about the crucial part, the importance and benefit of rest days and all the mental health factors related. Now, a large portion of muscle regeneration and cell cleaning happens in the body and brain while we sleep, okay? That is exactly why people who get 7 to 9 hours of deep sleep go through all the sleeping cycles. They maintain a consistent and uninterrupted sleep pattern each night. So when you are training every day without adequate recovery, your sleep quality tanks. Your body is so stressed and inflamed that you cannot reach deep sleep phases where growth hormone is released and muscle actually rebuild. But here's the good news, bro. A proper rest reverses all of this. A balance in your nervous system can actually be restored after only 1 week of recovery and rest. So your rest days are not only for muscle recovery, they are for hormonal recovery as well. Because without adequate hormonal levels, you are literally fighting an uphill battle for every gram of muscle mass, man. And the hidden cost of training every day is that you start hating the gym, man. Working out becomes a chore instead of something that you look forward to, right? So rest days obviously keep your passion alive. They make you excited to get back in the gym instead of just dreading it. Alright, before I get into the conclusion, let me answer 2 questions. 1, what is the optimal training to rest ratio? And what should I do with this information? Okay, starting with the first one. The American Council on Exercise suggests that athletes who engage in high-intensity exercise should schedule a rest day or 2 every single week. But here's my recommendation, bro. If you are training intensely, like really hard, 2 rest days per week would be much more beneficial and much more better than taking only 1, okay? And there are numerous, countless of training splits out there to choose from, man. Each designed to fit your own schedule, training volume, and how many days per week you want to hit the gym, okay? So no matter your routine, there is always a split that can work perfectly for you and your needs, man. And now, in terms of the second question of what you should do, I'll be breaking it into 3 simple steps. Step number 1, the active recovery strategy. Now, rest days don't only mean sitting on the couch all day long, although that could be okay sometimes, but always try to include some active recovery sessions involving low-intensity activities such as light cardio or stretching and walking, which can help increase blood flow and aid in muscle recovery without causing additional stress. So, for me personally, on my rest days, I might go for a 30-minute walk or do light stretching at home, because the key is to keep your heart rate low and not challenge your muscles. Because you are promoting blood flow and recovery, you don't want to create more damage, okay? Step number 2, the deload week protocol. Now, I've already talked about this in a whole video before, so even with rest days every single week, I do recommend taking a deload week every 6 to 8 weeks. Now, this period of 6 to 8 weeks was in that video. Now, from my own personal experience over the years, I don't really feel that I personally need a deload every 6 to 8 weeks, to be honest. Nowadays, I only take a deload every 12 to 14 weeks, science aside, okay? Now, what is deload? Deload means reducing training volume by 50%, or cutting weight by 30 to 40%, or taking an entire week off. During a deload week, you might only train 2 to 3 days instead of 4 or 5, or take a whole week off altogether. This gives your body a chance to fully recover from accumulated fatigue. Now, I recommend you go and watch the video, man, in order for you to understand it more, and when to take it, and how to know in case you need one. Step number 3, the nutrition factor during rest days. Now, here is something most people actually get wrong. They slice their calories dramatically on rest days, thinking they don't need the food since they are not training. Big mistake. So your body is essentially rebuilding during your rest days, man. You still need calories to do that, right? And especially protein in order to support recovery and growth. And I keep my protein intake identical on my rest days and my training days. I would maybe reduce my carb intake slightly, just a little bit, but never create that massive of a deficit on my rest days. Otherwise, that would completely defeat the purpose of recovery, man. Now, alright, let's wrap this up with the key takeaways that will transform your training, man. A quick recap before the action steps. Number 1. Training every day without strategic rest limits your gains, not maximizes them. 2. Muscles grow during rest, not during training. 3. At least one complete day per week is mandatory for sustainable progress. For me, 2 is much better, man. Now here is your action steps. Implement at least 1 to 2 full rest days per week. This is non-negotiable for long-term progress, man. I promise you that. Number 2, respect the 48 to 72 hour recovery window. Don't train the same muscle groups on consecutive days. Number 3, use active recovery. Light movement on rest days. This promotes blood flow and healing. Point number 4, take a deload week every 6 to 8 or even 12 weeks if you feel like it's not needed. Reduce volume and intensity for full recovery. Number 5, track your training, your feelings, performance, sleep, and recovery. And the bottom line, more is not always better, man. And strategic rest is like the secret weapon that actually separates the people who make consistent gains and from the people who actually spin their wheels forever. And remember, your muscles don't grow in the gym. They actually grow when you rest, on bed, while you sleep. Now, if this video actually helped you understand why the rest days are so crucial and important for muscle growth and performance, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more science-backed fitness content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.